that
We've
went.
tried the scripts.
We suck. We just suck.
Oh my gosh. I was just going to say we haven't even followed any scripts, y'all out there listening, because we tried it and then we were just so stiff, and so
We were
it's a
so
little
quiet.
bit. Yes, and maybe it's harder to
some
enter.
Of us couldn't even,
yeah, go for Zana.
Some of us couldn't even access the scripts, so didn't know what the scripts were.
So we were just winging it, and then we realized like that's better, and so here we are winging it. That's why we have our bloopers, plenty of them for Tadao to add.
Enough of me. Who want to go next?
For me to sit here and say, hey, I'm Victoria and this is about me, I'm changing every day. I'm not going to be the same Victoria tomorrow, because I want to be a better person tomorrow than I am today. And I know I'm a better person than I was 2 weeks ago, because I'm doing the work, and it's all about doing the work. I'm loving me, and I like me. I'm taking care of me so that I can pour into others, so that I can help others to get to where they want to be, or to get to where they need to be, or get rid of false beliefs or limited beliefs or whatever. But it starts here. It starts in my heart. It starts within me. And not like we talked about earlier, and Debbie, you were kind of popping in and out. But we were just talking about how you begin to feel angry if you're pulled and pushed and you don't have a voice, or you don't put a boundary out there. You know, boundaries are so important.
Right.
They're just super, super important. And I guess if I had to tell anybody anything about life, or how to be a better you or be a better me or whatever, it would definitely be to take care of yourself and set those boundaries.
No, absolutely. And that's the reason why I'm actually going into coaching. So, we've all talked about our journey. I think we're actually still all on our journey. And even though I've had like plenty of years behind me, I feel like this is a completely different journey. That was like that was me before, and this is me after. I really sort of resonate with the Phoenix, because I do believe that this last year I've kind of risen from the ashes. I feel I've had a transformation. I'm a different person.
There's something very sexy about being a mystery lady. You know that.
We are not. To the people that accused me of trying to be sexy last week, right? We are not going down that. We are not going down that road. We're not using that word again, because let's make it clear. I wasn't well. I feel so much better now. I was not well. I was a little doped up on the antibiotics. I'm not used to taking medicine, like conventional medicine like that. So those antibiotics, they wiped me out. So I was a little bit like so slow. Did you see me? I was so slow.
But you do, like 100% better this week.
Oh, I feel so much better. I really do. I'm alive. I'm alive.
Yeah, you're alive, Zana.
You're the Phoenix rising again.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. But I was just saying that self-care is so important to me, because I remember when I was in my teens and my early 20s, I was fearless. I did not think there was anything that I couldn't do. And I think that has a lot to do with, the youth and stuff. But I think life kind of sort of wears you down a little bit, chips a little bit off you. And then, you're a daughter, and you become a wife and a mother. And then I was a caregiver, and I completely lost myself in those. And I love being a mother. I was honored to take care of my husband. He gave me such a good life. But by the end of it, I felt like I didn't know who I was. And so after he passed away, it was me figuring out how to just rediscovering who I really was. And I only really have gone fully into that journey in the last year or so. And I'm loving the exploration and just finding out what's really true to me, what my core values are, what I value more than anything else. And I'm still on that journey. So I'm really, really excited to see where I go. This is definitely my time. I even labeled 2022 as my year, that it was going to be all about me. And so I'm going to advocate for everyone to be selfish, not selfish, but to focus on yourself, to discover who you really are, to give more to yourself than you give to anyone else, because you should be the most important person in your life.
That's
You
right.
have children, right? You have your parents, you have siblings, but you should be, as someone said, the heroine of your own story. I'm not going to swear, but crying out loud. You should be the heroine, the hero, whatever you want to call yourself. You should be the most important person in your story. And I only just discovered that last year.
Mm.
And I decided that that's what was going to be true for me. And if you want to call me weird, you want to call me selfish, you want to call me whatever name you are, it doesn't matter, because it's not going to change the journey that I'm on. And I think that makes me a better person. If I take care of myself, I have more to give to everyone else.
Right.
Because I've been in that place where I've been completely depleted. And, that's for another day, possibly, but I've been in that really, really dark place as well. And I never want to go back to that place. So I'm really excited. I'm so happy to have connected. And I think that's the thing that we've all discovered in Jay Shetty, this
Right.
amazing community of coaches and people that genuinely cared about each other and were full of just love, giving, generous, compassionate. And I think sometimes you can get really jaded when you experience the outside world and online, when you see people and the comments, and everyone's so quick to criticize.
Mm.
It's so nice to just uplift each other, support each other. And this is the world that I want to be in, where I believe there is more good people than bad. I believe there's more love than hate. That's the place that I want to stay in.
We don't even have to feel guilty for putting ourselves first, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Now, I don't know where that came into play, but I mean, my entire life, it was like you you never put yourself first. You even in the South, especially. Like I can remember going to my grandmother's for Thanksgiving or whatever, and the men ate first, and then the children, and then the women ate if there was anything left. So, like my mother's generation and before her, they always were putting other people before them. And no wonder there were so many dysfunctional families. No wonder there were so many angry people. And, they had nowhere to go. Like, that was how it was. So, yeah, it's pretty cool to see how now taking care of yourself is vogue. And, 70 years ago, taking care of yourself was the most self-centered thing a person could do. But also 70 years ago, you didn't talk to a life coach. You didn't talk to a therapist or a mentor or whatever. And I think mental health is just as important as having a good heart, or having a good set of lungs or whatever. I just think it's just as important. And now it's not as taboo. I think everybody talks to somebody about what's going on in their lives. And I think that does help us to become healthier people.
Victoria, when did you realize it's okay to take care of yourself, like putting yourself first?
I didn't realize that until my marriage ended. My
All
last
right.
marriage, by the way. Yeah. So I realized that I had poured so much into that. And like I wanted to always, I retired to stay home and take care of my granddaughter 15 years ago. And so in doing that, I felt like since I didn't work outside the home, that it was my job to, basically make sure the pasture was always clipped and the yard was done. And there was never anything to be done. Like I almost killed myself taking care of a farm and all the things. And I loved it. I did love it and I did enjoy it. And then I was trying to take care of, grandkids and can you go to the school and take this one's lunch or this one's sick or whatever. I just felt so stretched. And it wasn't until I ended up on an island in Belize alone that I realized, okay, now what? What? I don't know what. So I started watching. I just remember Googling on YouTube one day, like, just like, I'm so lost. What do I do? I was so stuck emotionally. And I realized from watching those videos and listening to the different people like Jay Shetty and Joe Dispenza and the people that are so knowledgeable about taking care of yourself, that I realized I had really gotten this thing called life wrong. I had really, really gotten it so wrong because I had tried so hard. I just felt like, if I could cook good enough, they would love me, or if I could make enough money, they would love me, or, all the things. So I felt like you see the snow globes. We just got through with Christmas and you wind them up and they sing a little song and go around in circles. And that's my life. That was what I was doing. I was performing to be loved. And I just realized one day, how can you expect anyone to love you when you don't love yourself? I didn't even like myself. It was very hard to even look in the mirror at myself. And because I had so much guilt and so much shame for things I didn't even do, things that I just thought were my fault. And there again, I guess that's a little narcissistic to take the blame of the whole world on your shoulders. Like, I'm not that big of a person. I'm not that important. But I don't know. I realized that I'm no good to anybody else until I can get this figured out. And it was like holding on to this long rope, like 1,000 miles. And finally I got to the end of the rope and that was me. I had to get to the end of me and my limited beliefs to realize, you know what, kid, you're okay. You've survived much worse. You're going to be okay. And so then I just started to like me and I started to be okay with me. And then I started, like attracting different people, different friends, a different group of people because I
Right.
wasn't into the negative, oh, woe is me and the victim. Like I was okay with me. I was okay with the decisions I've made. I have cut my losses and moved forward. So I think honestly, today I had to learn how to like me, how to be okay with me, how to be able to sit in silence with me and be okay with that. I'm totally, if I don't have, and I pray God doesn't take everybody from my life, but if if I didn't have anybody, I'm still okay because I have my walk with him, my spiritual walk, and he has grown me. And I just remember feeling so broken. I wasn't broken, but I thought I was broken. And I just remember brushing my teeth and like, I can't believe it. God, I've done this, and this. Why me? Why me? Why me? And finally, my daughter said to me on the phone one day, "You need to ask him what can you learn from this? What is he trying to teach you in the middle of this storm?" I didn't want to ask him. I was so angry. I couldn't pray. I could pray for other people. I just couldn't pray for myself. And so finally one day I was walking, I had gotten up to where I walked like 9 miles a day. And I was like, I know you have something you want to tell me, and I don't know that I even want to hear it right now. So just don't give up on me. That was all I could say to God. Don't give up on me, please. And I remember walking one morning, and I just remember hearing, I was looking at the ocean, and I just remember hearing the strongest sound is things are about to change in your life. And I was like, I just looked up and I was, I hope they're in a good direction. Like, let's don't go the other direction anymore, please. Like, leave me alone. And it's, but I think that God has huge shoulders and he knows my thoughts anyway. I might as well tell him exactly how I feel. He's not going to get his feelings hurt because he already knows. And so during that time, though, he knew I had to be alone on an island that was 5 miles long and 1 mile wide. He knew I didn't need a vehicle to run away from myself because I would get in fight, flight, or freeze mode. So I was exactly where I was supposed to be in that time when everything went down. And so I'm so grateful that he loved me enough to just seclude me and basically tie my hands behind my back and say, okay, sister, you got to deal with this. And so that's kind of when I figured it out. But I would suggest anybody do the work and just really figure out. And I tried before to do the work, but I couldn't be still long enough to do the work. If that makes any sense.
Victoria, can I just say, we never know what anyone is going through, right? Because
Absolutely.
I'm going to make a confession. When I first met you, I was intimidated because you were so glamorous, you were so put together, and you had this this wisdom and this calmness. And today I was in that same room, right, where
Yes.
you just exuded knowledge and this wisdom and this, and I thought, oh my God, this lady's got all her shit together, right? So I just
I
felt
felt
like
exactly same.
exactly right. So I would never, never have had a clue that you had been through all of this. I mean, not that I'm saying that I thought you had a charmed life, but I did feel like, there was so much ease there. And so it's like, I will say again, you actually never know. And that's and that is something that I've learned, that
Yeah.
you have to, everyone you meet, you always have
That's
to
the
remember
story.
there's always got to be some compassion. You meet them with kindness because you never know what they've been through.
Never know.
And
I remember that day being dropped in the room with y'all. I thought I was going to throw up. Like, I was like,
Really?
what
wow,
in hell just happened to me? Like, why am I being dropped in a room with other people? This is not cool. Like, I was panicking. And then today, I just remember you talking to me, and I was just like, well, I came from a very dysfunctional family. I just said to myself, okay, if not now, when? You have got to open the floodgate. You have got to be real with these people. You have got to show you're true who you are. And I remember today, I don't even remember what I said to you, but I just remember you saying, can I have a minute? Like, whoa, I just need a
Oh,
minute.
yes, I remember the moment.
You remember, and you teared up and you were like, I just need a minute. And I thought, well, I've crippled him for life, like ruin this poor man before he ever gets out of the gate with his coach. He's like, I changed my mind about coaching. But it was such a, when I got off that call, like I was like, I did it. I did it. I was real. I didn't have to put up this facade that I've had all my life. Like, you don't tell the secrets that go on in the house. You don't let people know that you're not okay because you're okay, whether you think you're okay or not. And I just thought, you know what? I came here to learn. And if I can't be real, I'm not going to learn anything. And so
That's right.
I took that chance, and you and Frazana were in that first class. And I just remember feeling loved. I felt heard and I felt loved. And I think we were in there, we had 5 minutes each. And I was thinking to myself, I'll never be able to fill up 5 minutes with talking about myself because it's not anything I ever had done before. So that was pretty cool that it worked out that way.
Yeah, that tells like we really need to be authentic.
Yeah.
And like I felt the same like when I met Debbie. So we had a breakout room, and I just felt so much chemistry between us with Faza and Victoria.
Woo.
So we decided to do this study group. That's when Debbie joined. And
Yes.
like Fazana said about Victoria, I was like, Debbie, like she got all her shit together. Like,
Yeah. I thought that too. And I still think that.
I pulled the wool over your eyes.
You're a pretty smart.
so like, yeah,
Oh,
we really
man.
never know.
I just love you people. I love you guys. And one of the things that was like jumping out when you were sharing reminded me of your logo for Zana with the phoenix rising. And
Right.
it reminded me that when I reflect on that exact same pattern in my life that we've mentioned now in all of our stories. So again, this is a piece that matters, I think, to all of us as humans, but that going through a dark time of questioning our life and what's happening, and we have to come to some new expansion or understanding about something, and we walk through that darkness and we feel like we've lost everything or we feel all alone. And it's funny because that same aloneness that maybe you experienced leaving your home country, or some of us experienced when there was an end to a relationship, whether through death or divorce, sometimes it's just that even within my marriage, I felt 100% alone because there was such a wall that got built between us. And so so sometimes people will say, well, that you don't understand, you haven't been through this exact story, or yeah, but your story is different. But honestly, I feel like it's that feeling of utter aloneness that brings us to these what we call dark places of suffering. But the gift is the phoenix is going to rise, and when we all come out of those moments or those times, however long it takes, we come out the other side, and I feel like we're reborn, honestly, rebirth. And so is it any wonder that we come into a new sort of plateau that we've gotten to? And let's say it was this life coaching, like we had all reached a certain point in our life where we were like, this is the place now, the testing ground, let me open up my wings on this plateau and see who I am. And
Oh my gosh.
She's gone.
But this
That
was
was a
our
weird
podcast
girl.
episode, AI Breakout.
You have to do that
Can I
again.
finish like this?
Yeah.
Okay, right. Today
I'm
I
so
was gonna
sorry,
do-
Debbie. We love you. We appreciate you. But since you disappeared,
Yeah.
we're going to end our conversation here.
We had so much fun. Thank
We
you,
had so
everyone.
much fun. Hope like our
Thank you for
listeners
watching.
were having fun too. Thank you for watching.
Follow us.
Subscribe
Follow
us. This is a sign.
Yeah. Hit the like button. I love y'all.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
all the love is now causing
We
a
love
breakup.
Debbie, and she was saying such beautiful things.
I know.
And I was
She always-
really